And so I need you to do me a huge favor, all right? So we're gonna start here. When I was young, and a lot of you, it's a disease, and we're gonna fix it tonight. When you're young, you got 14, you got 15, you got 16, you got 17, and what happens when you're young, time is real slow. You can't wait when you're 15. Like, my daughter's 14, just turned 14 in March. And people ask her, how old are you? She said, I'm gonna be 15. I'm like, you just turned 14 in March. I'm like, boo, let's do the math. Like March 6th, you got April, you're not even in the May, and you already off into 15. Listen to me, you are 14. And when you're young, you go with the 14 and a half, 14 and 3/4, and then you 15. Now when you get my age, you start, forget on purpose, right? Somebody asked me the other day how old I was. I'm like, I'm 40. I've been 40 in a year, right? I'm still holding on. I'm like, I'm 40. And then while I was saying, I was like, you just lied. You're not 40, you're 41, right? And so when you're young, you got a lot of time, and you feel like, time is on my side, and I just want to encourage you. Listen to me closely. When you turn 21, when I turned 21, I woke up the next day and I was 25. Like, you young, and you like, he tripping. What is he saying? If I had any adults that's my age, they know what I'm talking about. And then you go from 25, you wake up 30. And you didn't get no birthdays, nothing happened. 25, like, I'm being honest with you. They're looking around at some grown folk, they doing like this. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And so then you go 25, 30, and then you wake up and you like 40, and you like, what happened? My son's about to be a senior in high school. I'm tripping, I just had a little man. We were just traveling across the country together. Now my man's 6'2", looking down at me, but I let him know, you got height, but I will knock you out if you try to. Your little height don't mean nothing to me. So watch this, very close. You gotta hear what I'm saying, because once you understand how valuable time is, once you understand, now I'm 40 years old. I don't know if you caught that, but unfortunately, the next thing is 50. That's it. And then 50, my grandfather told me, he said, son, once you turn 50, it's like downhill from there. He you running 6-7 miles a day. You will not be doing that at 65, right? And so this is sense of urgency that I got. I might not only have 10 left, 10 good, strong years. I don't know what's going on. Granddaddy scared me with the 50. Right? So you hear me say on my video, I'm talking about opportunity. Listen to me. Sleep is the new broke, because what happens is, if you only have 24 hours. All right, I got to say this. I got to take my time because I want to make sure you get this. If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You got to hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely. That's it. Listen to me. That's it. You get 24. I don't care if you broke, you grew up broke. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college, you're not in college. You only get 24 hours. And I blew up literally. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. What happened? My 24 hours. I was like, okay, Eric, you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. And that's all I need you to do for me. I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me and you let me look at it. I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years if you keep that schedule. So I just want to show you something. When I was broke, if you look at my schedule, you'll see that I woke up whenever I felt like waking up. That's what you'll see first. Now, I told you before, if you watch my videos, I studied the top millionaires in the world, and I discovered that they all wake up at 3:30 in the morning. You say, Eric, how did you find that out? Because they were all talking about the 3 o'clock news. I didn't even know news came on that early. I'm going to be real. I'm going to keep it real, for real, be honest. You have been up and you watched the 3:30 a.m. news. Raise your hand. You watched that. I know, yeah. A couple of y'all lying, but it's okay. You feel me? You trying to be like, I watched it. You know you ain't been up at 3:30 in the morning watching no news, right? Right? But watch this, 3:30. I start thinking, and I'm like, wow, if they're getting up at 3:30, and everybody else is getting up at 8 and 8:30, the reason why they're successful is not because they're smart, but the reason why they're successful is they just got a 5-hour jump on the world. So I started first at 7 o'clock, and then I played a trick on life. I started getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you know how the time changes? Well, I pretend like it was still the same time when it went back. And I started getting up at 6, and then the year after that, when the time went back again, I just pretend like it was the same time, and I started getting up at 5. And then the next year, I started getting up at 4, and now I get up at 3. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been getting up at 3 for 6 months, and it's getting bad now. Sometimes I'm getting up at 2:15, sometimes 1:45, and I'm starting to see everything in my life change. Why? Because I'm putting more time in, and guess what? If you get up at 2 and put in work, if you finish, you can take a nap. Because you're thinking like, where does he get some sleep?